Going to look at two more examples to finish out this first section of notes. Like I said in the first video, this is a pretty short section. So the first one says, place the digits 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9 in the circles to make the sums horizontally and vertically equal 19. So if you add the numbers that are in these three circles here across the middle, they're going to equal 19, and the three circles going vertically will also equal 19. So this is another one that you're going to use guess and check, at least initially. And there's a couple options that you have. It just depends on what you might see with those numbers. Some people might see the answer right away and be like, oh, I know what has to go in the middle to make this work. If you don't see the answer right away, it's fine. Just make a few guesses. You might say, well, what if 9 goes in the middle? Then what can go outside of it to equal 19? Well, to equal 19, you could do a 4 and a 6, because 4 plus 6 plus 9 is 19, but then that would leave 7 and 8 for the other two circles, and that's going to be way too high. So you'll really quickly say, okay, 9 is not going to work. So you might say, okay, 9's too big. What if we do something smaller? What if we put, let's say, 7 in the middle? So if we put 7 in the middle, we want to equal 19. You could do 4 and 8. 4, 7, and 8 equal 19. But that's going to leave 6 and 9 for the other two circles, and then that's going to be way too big as well. So you could go through and just keep guessing and checking. But ultimately, you'll find that the only number that's going to work in the middle is a 4. And then you can do 6 and 9. 4, 6, and 9 make 19. And that leaves 7 and 8 for the other two, because 4, 7, 8 also equals 19. And by the way, if you had the 6 and the 9 in the vertical circles and the 7 and 8 in horizontal, it is equally correct, because they're both going to equal the 19. So that's that one. The last one here is looking at sequences, and we're given a very specific pattern. It says, study this sequence of numbers, 3, 4, 7, 11, 18, 29, 47, 76. In this sequence, you might notice that if you add two numbers, the next number is going to be the sum of them. So 3 plus 4 is 7. 4 plus 7, 11. 7 plus 11, 18. 11 plus 18 is 29, and so on. We're told to use the same rule to complete these next sequences. Now, some of these are a little easier. Some of these are going to require a little more effort. So the first couple are pretty basic. We've got 1, 2, 3. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 3 is 5. 3 plus 5 is 8. 5 plus 8 is 13. 8 plus 13 is 21. So we've got Fibonacci sequence there. The second one, we have 2, then a blank, then the 8. Well, 2 plus 6 is 8. 6 plus 8 is 14. 8 plus 14 is 22. 14 and 22 is 36. And then finally, 22 and 36 is 58. So those two are fairly straightforward. Now we get to the third one. The third one, maybe you don't see what the next number is going to be right away. You might need to guess. And you might say, well, it's a 3, so let me try 4 as my next number. 3 plus 4 would be 7. And then 4 plus 7, that's only 11. It doesn't make 13. So 4 is not going to work. I need to be a little bit bigger, so let me try a 5. 3 plus 5 is 8. 5 plus 8, there's my 13. So we end up just picking up this top sequence, but a little further down. So 8 plus 13 is still 21. 13 and 21 make 34. And then finally, 21 and 34 make 55. The last two, we're given the first number and the last number. So again, this is one where you're just going to have to do a little guessing. So I've got 2 and then a 26 at the end. So let's say my second number is a 3. 2 plus 3 make 5. Feel like we've been down this road before. 3 and 5 make 8. 5 and 8 make 13. 8 and 13, though, they only make 21, not 26. So these numbers are not going to work. So we'll try another one. So if 3 did not work is the second number, let me try a 4. 2 plus 4 makes 6. 4 and 6 is 10. 6 and 10 is 16. 10 and 16, there's my 26. Last one now, very similar process. We need to find the next number. Well, 4 as the second number is going to be way too big. It's a 26. And if there was a 3 as the second number, we just ran through that process, you'd end up with a 21 down here. So I need to go even smaller. We could try a 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 plus 4 is 6. 4 plus 6 is 10. 10 and 6 make 16, not 11. So that's not going to work. So we need to go a little smaller. So let's go with a 1. So in this case, the number gets smaller before they start to get bigger. If you were doing something like this with students, that may not be a thought that they are going to initially have. They might think the numbers have to get bigger, but in a sequence, you actually don't have to always get bigger. 2 plus 1 here is 3. 1 plus 3 is 4. 3 plus 4 is 7. And then 4 plus 7, there's our 11. So we end up with these last 4 numbers looking very much like the sequence that we started with. So that wraps up the first section. So our basic problem-solving strategies that are going to be helpful in a lot of instances are using guess and check, making a table, drawing a picture, looking for a pattern. A lot of times those are going to be our just basic go-to strategies, and then they can be refined.